Well, hi, everybody. I'm Ernie Harwell, bringing you Buffalo Buffheads Baseball. Here on WAPBA, you always have a front row seat. Today, we're wired here from Baltimore, where the Buffheads will meet the hometown Terrapins before a hostile crowd. Their record now, 1-2, having lost 2 in a row. Game number 1 of 3 here in Baltimore. The Terrapins take the field here in the first. Let's see. McGraw has set his opening slate. Swasina at first base. Nabe at second. Doolin, the shortstop. Walsh at third. The outfield consists of Simmons in left field, Meyer in center field, and Duncan over in right. Jacklish is behind the plate and on the mound for Baltimore. Quinn, the right-hander. This is Quinn's second start of the season. 1 win, no losses. He's coming off a win. After 1 game, his ERA at 0. He will be facing Buffhead starter, right-hander Trapp. So settle in. We're ready to start this game. Agra leading off the first. You don't want to let down with him so far at the plate. 5 hits in 14 trips. He's walked once. Joe has 2 steals in 2 tries. Agra waiting for Quinn. Quinn looking in. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Hang up a K for Quinn. 1 away. Smith walking up the bat. An unlikely hero so far. Only 1 hit in 14 trips. You don't see Red on much. He stands in. Quinn prepared to work. Quinn winds and fires. High pop fly. This one will bring rain. Walsh and Jacklish converge near the line. Jacklish is calling off Walsh, and he has it for the out in fair territory. 2 away. Hanford is now up. Hanford good at the plate. So far at the plate, 4 for 12. He has 2 RBIs. He's walked once. Right-hander Quinn ready. Quinn now. And it's chopped down the first baseline. Swasina covers it and touches the bag. 3 away. So the Buffheads go quietly. Buffheads, nothing. Terrapins coming up. For the Buffheads. Overall, they now stand at 2-1. In the league, they're first in batting average at .321. Fourth in home runs with no. Fourth in runs. Fourth in slugging. Tied for second in steals with 3. Second in on-base percentage. Fourth in ERA at 3.33. The Buffheads take the field here in the first. Defensively for Buffalo. Agra at first base. Downey at second. Loudon the shortstop. Smith at third. The outfield consists of Young in left field, Hanford in center field, and Delahanty over in right. Blair is behind the plate and warming up in the pen now for Buffalo. The right-hand throwing Trapp. This is Trapp's second start of the season. His record, 1-0. He won his last start. After 1 game, his ERA at 2. To get it going for the Terrapins here, Meyer. Meyer good at the plate. On the season, 5 hits in 13 trips. Trapp looking in. And the pitch comes in. Fly ball hit the left. Young drifts over. He camps under it. Taps the glove. And makes the catch. 1 away. One gone. First inning. Duncan is stepping up to hit against Trapp. Duncan good at the plate. To date at bat, 2 hits in 13 trips. He's walked once. He'll wait for his pitch. Blair ready to receive. He brings it home. Swung on and missed. Trapp pulled the string. And Duncan was way out in front. 2 gone. Walsh is up next. A trusty bat so far at the plate. 6 for 13. Pitcher Pratt eyeing Walsh. Now he's ready. The pitch. Cut on. Ground ball to Smith. He's up with it. The throw across the diamond. Out at first for the 3rd out. No runs, no hits, no errors. And at the end of 1. No score as we go to the top of the 2nd inning. For Buffalo, it'll be Loudon, Young, and Delahanty. Here's Loudon to lead it off. He has the talent to do some damage. So far, 6 for 11. He's walked once. He's stolen 1 base. Baldy steps up. Quinn poised. The pitch comes in. Swung on, poked to right. Base hit. Duncan gets in front of it. Fields it cleanly. Loudon rounds first and holds. He's on with a single. Here's Young coming to the plate. A very steady hitter to date. 6 for 13. He has 3 RBIs. On at first, Baldy with dazzling speed. Pitcher Quinn set to go. Quinn brings it to the plate. Swing and a miss. Young goes down on strikes. 1 down. Delahanty is out to take his hacks, and he hacks from the right. 1 out. Loudon on first for Buffalo. Let's see if he can outperform his advanced billing. On the year, 2 for 10. He has 2 RBIs. He's walked once. In the box now. Pitcher Quinn eyeing Delahanty. Now he's ready. And Loudon takes off. He brings it home. It's a shot to left center. Simmons is racing to the gap. He's under it. And he pulls it in. And that's out number 2. Loudon scampers back to first. Next up, Buffalo hitter Blair. Walter, a modest hitter to date. 4 for 11. He's walked once. Blair relaxes himself at the plate. Jacklish set. Loudon bluffs going. The delivery swung on. Grounded hard to short. He knocks it down. He's up with it. Fires to first. And gets him by a step. Buffheads go down. That'll do it for Buffalo. No runs on 1 hit. No errors. They leave 1. They couldn't get the runner past first. No score in the game. We go to the bottom of the 2nd inning. For Baltimore, it'll be Jacklish, Simmons, and Swasina. Jacklish to lead it off. A very steady hitter to date at bat. 4 hits in 13 trips. He has 2 RBIs. He's walked once. He'll wait for his pitch. Blair ready to receive. Here comes a pitch. Jacklish got under it. It's drifting near the stands past first. Egler is there. He has it. Notch 1. Simmons comes up to bat. He'll take advantage of your mistakes on the season. 2 hits in 11 trips. He's walked once. He'll wait for his pitch. Hack waits. Trapp gets set to work on him. The pitch. Simmons draws a walk. Wait a minute. The ump says it's strike 3. Simmons was already heading for first. He can't believe it. 2 away. Next up, Swasina. Base is clear. 2 outs. Swasina good at the plate. To date at bat, 2 for 10. Harry waits. Blair set. The pitch. Swung on, grounded to Smith at third. He bobbles it, picks it up, throws quickly. Out by a step. Terrapins go down. So the Terrapins go down to 1, 2, 3. Buffheads due to bat. But Buffheads will have Downey, Kraft, and Egler here in the third. Downey leading it off. Unreliable at the plate on the year. 4 for 11. He has 6 RBIs. Jacklish set. Quinn brings it to the plate. Grounded to third. The throw to first. And he's out. 1 away. Pitcher trap up. At the plate this season, he's 1 for 4. He stands in. Pitcher Quinn eyeing Kraft. Now he's ready. The pitch. Swung on and missed. 2 down. Here comes Egler to take his cuts. Jacklish ready to receive. Quinn now. High pop fly. This one will bring rain. Walsh and Jacklish converge near the line. Jacklish is calling off Walsh, and they collide. And he drops it. That's a fair ball. Jacklish takes the E, and Egler is on at first. Well, the Buffheads have 2 away. Egler on at first. Smith up. He stands in. Right-handed Quinn goes to the set position. First baseman Swasina is on the bag. Egler with a substantial lead. Now Quinn comes home with it. Chopper back to the mound. Quinn gloves it. He flips the Swasina at first for the out. The line for the Buffheads. No runs, no hits, 1 error. They leave 1. Still no score. Terrapins coming up. The Terrapins will send out the bottom of the lineup. Doolin, Nabe, and Quinn. Doolin to lead it off. He'll take advantage of your mistakes so far at the plate. 3 for 10. He's walked once. Kraft prepares to come home. Kraft into the wind. Swung on. Hot smash to Downey. He dives. He's got it. Throws quickly. In time. 1 away. Nabe getting ready to go. An unlikely hero so far. 4 for 9. He has 2 RBIs. Right-handed Kraft goes to the set position. The delivery from Kraft. Breaking ball. Swung on. Driven to left. Young is running back. He's got a beat on it and makes the catch. 2 away. Quinn is up next. Offensively this season, he's 1 for 3. Right-handed Kraft goes to the set position. Now Kraft pitches. High fly ball to left. Young drifts over toward the line. He's under it. And makes the catch. Side retired. Kraft sets them down in order. 3 complete here in Baltimore. Still scoreless. Buffheads due to bat. Baltimore will now face the heart of the Buffheads lineup. Hanford, Loudon, and Young coming up. Well, to get it going for the Buffheads here, Hanford, right-handed hitter to face Quinn. The hitter stands in. Quinn focuses in on the target. Quinn winds up. Line to left center. Giving chase is Meyer. He hightails it to the track. and he snares it on the fly. Meyer really picked it. A fine running catch. One down. Loudon is out to get his licks. He bats right. He's their cleanup hitter. Baldy has a good eye. Now Quinn ready. The pitch. Lofted to center. Meyer has the range and the bead. And he puts it away. 2 away. Young walks up. He bats left. Nobody on. 2 away. Quinn prepared to work. The pitch. Routine grounder to Doolin. He's up with it. Over to first. And Young is retired. 3 away. So the Buffheads go quietly. We still have a scoreless tie as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Top of the order here for Baltimore. In the 4th, Meyer, Duncan, and Walsh. Here's Meyer to start it off. Batter waits. Trapp looking in at the target. The pitch. Meyer lashes one to right. It falls, and Meyer is on with a single. And that's the first base knock for the Terrapins in this game. Runner on first. Duncan gets set to bat against Trapp. On at first. Benny with dazzling speed. Blair sets up. He squares. The delivery, and Duncan lays one down. Egler feels it. He might have a play on Meyer. No, he'll flip to Downey, covering first. A sacrifice for Duncan. Meyer moves down to second. It's now Walsh the bat. Meyer on second. One gone. Trapp sets up on the rubber again. Righty against righty. Trapp now set. Speedy Meyer edging toward third. The pitch is on the way. He squares. Bunted down the first base line. Egler barehands it. Then throws to third. The throw's offline. Meyer slides in safely. No error called, and it's a sacrifice for Walsh. Okay, Terrapins with runners at first and third. 1 away. The bottom of the 4th inning. Jacklish up. On the season, Jacklish has 2 runs batted in. He will strike out. Trapp sets up on the rubber again. Blair set. Infielders back. The runners take their lead. He lets it go. Bounce to short. Loudon's up with it. He bobbles it for a second. Fires to second. Just in time. No play at first. And a run scores. And Jacklish is on at first. And the Terrapins break the tie and now lead 1-0. 4th inning. And Jacklish now has 3 runs batted in on the season. For Baltimore, 2 gone, 1 on. The bottom of the 4th inning. Simmons is out to get his licks. He bats right. The batter stands in. Trapp prepared to work. He lets it go. Simmons swings. It's hard and long. Sending Young back. Will it be deep enough? No. Young is there. He squeezes it, and the side is retired. The half for the Terrapins. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. They leave 1. So they have 1 in the bank. 4 complete here in Baltimore. Terrapins leading by 1. 1-0. The Buffheads will have Delahanty, Blair, and Downey here in the 5th. Delahanty leading off the 5th. Quinn is ready to fire it in. The pitch. Swung on, and it's chopped down the first baseline. Swasina takes the high hop. He flips to Quinn, covering. And they get him. One away. Fifth inning. Now Blair to face Quinn. Right-hander Quinn. Ready. He brings it in. The ball is chopped out over the mound. Doolin gets to it in front of second, rifles it to first, and just nips Blair. And that's out number 2. Downey is now up. Downey made an out in his first at-bat. Tom does not get extra base hits. Right-hander Quinn, ready. Quinn winds up. Up the chimney, a towering pop-up in foul ground. Jacklish near the dugout, and he gloves it for the out. 3 away. The Terrapins retire the side in order. Buffheads behind the Terrapins. 1-0. For Baltimore, it'll be Swasina, Doolin, and Nabe. Swasina to lead it off for the Terrapins. Right-hander. Not much power. Trapp prepared to work. The pitch to Swasina. Swasina hits one high. Hard right field. But it won't be enough. Delahanty covers it. It looked for a minute like it was gone. 1 away. Doolin, the hit. Not much power. Doolin now ready. Trapp looking in at the target. The pitch. A shot to left field. Young got a great jump. He's back. Reaches up and brings it down. 2 gone. Two outs. 5th inning. Nabe up. Nabe 0 for 1. Otto steps up. Trapp prepared to work. He wheels and deals. Swung on, grounded to Smith at third. Throws quickly. Out by a step. 3 away. Trapp sets them down in order. Buffheads trailing by 1. Trapp, Eglin, and Smith due up for Buffalo. Here's Trapp to lead it off. Jacklish ready to receive. Now he comes home with it. Swung on, hot smash to Nabe. He dives. He's got it. Throws quickly. In time. 1 down. Now Eglin to face Quinn, left side batter. He'll wait for his pitch. Quinn gets set to work on him. Quinn into the wind. Banged to left center, and it gets by Meyer and rolls to the wall. Eglin hits second on a full steam. He's headed for third. They're waving him home. Meyer's throw. Here's a relay. Safe. Under the tag. And a run scores. Scored that a single. What a play. So the single drives in 1 big run. Here come the Buffheads. They get back the run and even the score. Next up, Buffalo hitter Smith. Smith has done nothing in 2 trips. You don't see red on much. Jacklish ready to receive. Here's the delivery. Upstairs, and Smith isn't tempted. Ball number 4. And he takes his base. And that's the first walk issued by Quinn. That was Smith's first walk of the season. It's now Henford to bat. He swings from the right side. For Buffalo. 1 down, 1 on. Score tied. Henford 0 for 2. A rabbit on first. He would be the go-ahead tally. Quinn, foot on the rubber, checks the runner. Smith well off first. Throw over to first. Smith back standing. Now Quinn is back on the rubber. Now the pitch. Fly ball. Left center. Not too deep. Simmons coming on. Reaches out. Can't get it. It bounds away from him. He's after it. Smith rounds third. The throw comes into Doolin. They're holding Smith at third, and Henford is in standing with a double. The go-ahead run is now on third. Here's Loudon for Buffalo. Runners at second and third. One down. OK Power. He's a contact hitter. On the season, only one RBI so far for Baldy. He had a hit earlier. Quinn on the rubber. Quinn prepared to work. Infielders in. The runners take their lead. Now Quinn pitches high and tight. The ump says ball 4. And Baldy will get down to first. And the bases are loaded. And that's only the second walk issued by Quinn. Young up to hit. One down. Bases all loaded up. Score tied. Dell gets good wood. Dell has 3 RBIs this season. Quinn has got to throw strikes. There's nowhere to put Young. Quinn wipes sweat from his hands. Dell at the plate. Taps the plate with his bat. Waits. Quinn is on the slab. Quinn will go to work on him. Infielders in. The runners take their lead. He wheels and deals. It's hop to the right side. Swasina feels it on the big bounce. Fires home. And he gets him. Go to town, Terrapins. They cut off the go-ahead run. Young reaches first on the play, and the bases are still loaded. All right, Delahanty is stepping up to hit against Quinn. He's a right-handed batter. The Buffheads have 2 down, bases all loaded up. Frank does not get extra base hits. On the season, Delahanty has 2 runs batted in. Delahanty tucks in his shirt. He lifts the bat, weighing it. Quinn bends for the rosin bag. Delahanty in the batter's box. Touches his cap. Waits for the pitch. Quinn put on the rubber. Quinn looking in at the target. The runners take their lead. Quick move to the plate. Bounce to short. He takes a high hop. Flips the nabe at second. For out number 3. That'll do it for Buffalo. A run on 2 hits. The Terrapins made an error. 3 men left on base. They had great chances for more, but they do tie it up. Score tied at 1 at the end of 5.5. For Baltimore, here in the 6th, Quinn, Meyer, and Duncan. Leading off, Quinn. And the fans are giving him a hand. Right-hander Pratt ready. The pitch is on the way. Quinn hits a ground hugger towards second. Downey picks it up and flips to first. Routine. 1 away. Meyer walking up the bat. Benny 1 for 2, and he scored a run. It's hard to keep Meyer off the base pass. Trapp ready. The pitch. High fly ball to deep right center. Henford is racing to the track. So is Delahanty. Henford waves him off and brings it down. 2 gone. Now coming up, Duncan. Respectable power on the day. He's 0 for 1, and he gave himself up once. Batter ready. Blair sets up. Trapp comes home. There's called 3rd strike right down the pike. That's 3 away. So the Terrapins go in order. Score even at 1. Bottom of the lineup, Blair, Downey, and Trapp coming up. Here's Blair to start it off. Blair is 0 for 2. Blair in the box. Pitcher Quinn eyeing Blair. Now he's ready. The pitch. And he walks him. Walter Moses down to first. Downey up there. Downey is hitless in 2 at-bats. Blair, a decent runner. He's the potential go-ahead run. Quinn climbs the mound. His mitt steady. Now glances at Blair. And they've got Blair off first. Quinn fires. Pick clean. Quick move by Quinn. 1 away. That was a big one, sports fans. They have picked off the go-ahead run. Blair is digging himself a hole. Tom steps up. Jacklish sets up. Now he comes home with it. Sliced down the line in right. Foul. Strike 1. Downey ready to take on Quinn again. Quinn looking home. He lets it go. Grounded hard to short. Doolin fields it. Over to Swasina at first in plenty of time. And that's the second out. 2 outs. Pitcher Trapp to hit. Trapp waiting. Jacklish ready to receive. The pitch. Off-speed pitch. Misses. Trapp draws a walk. That was Trapp's first walk of the season. All right, the Buffheads have 2 down. Trapp on at first. We have Aigler to bat for the Buffheads. He bats from the left side. Aigler 1 for 3. And he scored a run. Pitcher Quinn eyeing Aigler. Now he's ready. Quinn with the pitch. Swung on. Base hit right field toward the gap. That's good for extra bases. Duncan digging. He's got it. Trapp is around third. They're waving him in, and he scores. The throw goes to third, and Aigler is in standing with a double. So the double scores 1 big one, and the Buffheads break the tie and now lead 2-1 here in the 7th. For Aigler, his first double of the season, and Aigler now has 2 runs batted in on the season. Now Smith to face Quinn. Bats right. For Buffalo. 2 away, 1 on. Fred walked once. He's 0 for 2. Jacklish crouched down now. Aigler moves quietly toward third. Quinn delivers. Lined a shot to right. Duncan is there. This should do it. He drops the ball. Around third. Aigler. He ran right through the red light. Flying. The throw to the plate. It's wide. He scores. And Smith is on at first. He never really had a chance to advance. Duncan picks up an error, and the Terrapins' defense has been sloppy here. They are lucky not to be further behind. And the Buffheads now lead 3-1. Hanford up there. Charlie is 1 for 3. Batter ready. Right-hander Quinn ready. The pitch. Swung on, strike. And Smith is stealing. Jacklish turns it around fast. He's safe. That's his first steal of the season. So Hanford steps back in. Quinn prepared to work. Quinn working on Smith to hold him close. And the pitch comes in. Fastball. And it gets by Jacklish. He scrabbles. Smith makes it safely to third. Hanford ready to take on Quinn again. Quinn gets set to work on him. Smith at third with his arms out, crouched. He brings it in. Hanford smashes one down the line. Walsh grabs it near the bag. He wings a long throw to first, and they get him. Nice play. 3 down. The half for the Buffheads. 2 runs, 1 hit, 1 error. They leave 1. A potential winner has surfaced. Buffheads ahead 3-1. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Okay, folks, on your feet. Take a break for the 7th inning stretch. Buffalo will now face the heart of the Terrapins lineup. Walsh, Jacklish, and Simmons coming up. To get it going for the Terrapins here, Walsh. Walsh waits. Trapp looking in at the target. Trapp to the wind. Walsh dribbles one to the left of the mound. Trapp can't reach it. Loudon charges in. Grabs it and throws in one motion. Not in time. Walsh beats it out. One on. We have Jacklish coming up to hit. He hits from the right. He's their cleanup hitter. Jacklish 0 for 2. 1 RBI. Jacklish waits. Right-handed Trapp goes to the set position. Trapp kicks and delivers. Lofted down the line to right. That could be trouble. Delahanty races over into the corner. He leaps. He's got it. 1 down. Walsh is tagging, but the coach holds him at first. Now coming up, Simmons. Simmons is hitless in 2 at-bats. Trapp looking in. First baseman Egler ready for a throw from Trapp. And the pitch comes in. Swung on. Popped up. Smith moves toward the line. He's under it. And he makes the catch. Next batter, Swasina. Not a long ball threat. Swasina steps up to the plate. Pitcher Trapp set to go. Big hole on the right side. Walsh takes a good lead. Here's the delivery. Swasina scribs it to the left side. A swinging bunt. Smith charges it, picks it up, guns it to first, and they get him. Side retired. The half for the Terrapins. No runs, 1 hit. They leave 1. They had a chance but could not convert. We've played 7. Terrapins still down by 2. They are getting a lesson in how to play this game. But Buffheads will have Loudon, Young, and Delahanty here in the 8th. Loudon to lead it off for the Buffheads. Bats from the right. Loudon steps up to the plate. Quinn gets set to pitch. Quinn into his motion. Delivers. Loudon shatters his bat. And the ball rolls toward Walsh. He guns it to first. And nails Loudon by a step. 1 away. One down. 8th inning. Buffalo now sends Young to bat. Hitting from the left side. Now Quinn ready. Quinn now. Grounded to the right side. Nabe to his left. And it sneaks through. Single for Young. All right. Delahanty walks up. For Buffalo. 1 out. Young down at first. Frank 0 for 3. Jacklish sets up. First baseman Swasina perched right in front of the bag. Here's the delivery. Jammed him. It's pushed towards second. Nabe fields it. Double pumps. No play at second. Now he flips to Spacina for the out. 2 gone. Young moves into scoring position. Okay, Blair the hit. The Buffheads have 2 outs. Young down at second. Walter walked once. He's 0 for 2. He stands in. Quinn focuses in on the target. Quinn working on Young to hold him close. The offering to Blair. Line to center. Meyer takes it on the long bounce. It's off his glove. Young scores. Blair rounds second, but puts on the brakes. Dives back in. The tag. And he's out. So the single leads to a run. This ball game now 4-1. For the Buffheads, a run on 2 hits. 1 miscue for the Terrapins. They give themselves a little room. Buffheads ahead 4-1. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Kraft will now face the bottom of the Terrapins lineup. Doolin, Nabe, and Quinn coming up. To get it going for the Terrapins. Here, Doolin. He swings from the right. Terrapins need to put men on base now. Batter facing Kraft. Catcher Blair sets his target. And now the pitch. Taken for a strike. Doolin goes down looking. 1 down. Right-handed hitter Nabe gets set to bat against Kraft. Nabe is 0 for 2. In the box now. Right-hander Kraft ready. Here's the delivery. In the air to center. Hanford has it in his sights, and he tucks it away. 2 away. Quinn is scheduled to hit. We'll have to see if he stays in the game. Next up, Meyer and Duncan. The batter stands in. Kraft prepared to work. Terrapins manager McGraw looking at his score sheet. McGraw is recalling pitcher Quinn. Russell is enlisted to hit for him. Bats left. He waves that bat like a wand. Heads out. So Quinn gets his innings. He pitched 8. The line on him. 4 runs. 2 earned. On 6 hits. He stands to lose it unless the Terrapins can make up the 3-run deficit. Russell walking up the bat, uncertain at the plate. To date at bat, 1 for 2. After Russell, Kraft would face Meyer, then Duncan. Kraft looking home. And now the pitch. Russell hits a comebacker. Kraft knocks it down, barehands it, and throws to first. Close play, and the ump calls Russell out. So the Terrapins go in order. Terrapins behind the Buffheads. 4-1. Downey, Kraft, and Egler to bat next. Conley is coming on in relief for Baltimore. The right-hander, Conley, enters this game with a 0 ERA. This is his 2nd appearance. He's worked 2 innings. Downey to lead it off for the Buffheads. Bats right. Conley is finished with his warm-up pitches. The umpire is brushing off the plate. We're ready to go. Batter set. Now Conley ready. The pitch. Downey started the swing. Did he hold up? They check with the first base ump. A base on balls for Downey. That was Downey's first walk of the season. For Buffalo, nobody out, 1 on. Next up, pitcher Kraft batting 9th. Conley staring in, ready to work. Infield playing in a few paces. He wheels and deals. Taken. The steal is on. Here's a peg from Jacklish. The slide. The tag. Downey sneaks in. Jacklish made it close. Downey had a great jump. He stole it on Conley. That's his first steal of the season, and that's the Buffheads' second stolen base in this game. Trapp stands in again. Conley set. Infield drawn in a few feet. Downey stretches his lead off second. The pitch. Hot smash. The Nabe takes it on one hop. No play at third, and he flips to first. In time. One down. Downey moves up. Okay, Eggler gets set to face Conley. Batting left. One away. Downey on third. Right-hander Conley. Ready. The Terrapins are looking for the play at the plate. Downey at third with his arms out. Crouched. The pitch. The heater. It's in there. Strike three. Two down. Two away. Ninth inning. One on. Smith up the bat. Jacklish ready to receive. Speeded. Downey edging down the line. The pitch. Grounded hard to short. Doolin fields it. The throw to first. And he's gone. The half for the Buffheads. No runs, no hits, no errors. They leave one. We've played 8 1/2. Terrapins still down by 3. Top of the order here for Baltimore. In the ninth, Meyer, Duncan, and Walsh. Meyer will get it started for the Terrapins. He swings from the right. When the Terrapins need a base runner, Meyer is the guy they want up there. Benny steps up. Pitcher Trapp eyeing Meyer. Now he's ready. Trapp brings it. Grounded toward third. Smith fields it. Fires. Got him. One away. Here's Duncan. None on. One out. Duncan has patience. Right-hander Trapp ready. Now the delivery. Driven to right. It's playable. Delahanty moves under it and hauls it in. 2 down. Walsh walks up. He bats right. In this game, Walsh is 1 for 2. And he gave himself up once. On deck, Jacklish with a bat in hand. Followed by Simmons. Catcher Blair sets his target. Trapp into the wind. Called strike, and that just nipped the corner. Strike one. Walsh ready to take on Trapp again. Blair crouched down now. The pitch. Swung on, smashed toward the gap in right center. Hanford is racing back. Hits over his head, off the wall. He's chasing it down. Walsh hits second on a full steam, and he puts on the brakes. With 2 outs, he'll hold up. Double for Walsh. That's Walsh, second hit of the game. For Walsh, his first. Double of the season. We have Jacklish, the bat for the Terrapins, batting in the 4th slot. 2 outs. Runner on second. Fred 0 for 3. 1 RBI. Not a lot of power. Time's really running out for the Terrapins. Simmons waits on deck, kneeling, chin on his hand, staring out. Trapp staring in, ready to work. Walsh moves another step away from second. Trapp with the pitch, off-speed pitch. Misses. Jacklish draws a walk, and that's the first walk issued by Trapp. Runners at first and second. 2 down, the bottom of the 9th inning. Right-handed hitter Simmons gets set to bat against Trapp. Simmons 0 for 3. Hack calm at the plate. He'll let his numbers talk. Hack looking for his first homer. If you walk the bases loaded, you have no place to put Swasina. Simmons preparing himself, taps the bat on his left heel, glances out to third. Trapp positions his mitt. Simmons steps up to the plate, lowers the brim of his cap. Now, ready. Trapp, foot on the rubber, righty against righty. Checks Walsh at second. The runners take their lead. The pitch, grounded hard at Smith. He's up with it, fires to second, and they get him, and that's it. And the Buffheads take it, spurred on by the disciplined leadership of Mac. The Terrapins leave the tying run at the plate. Trapp has a beautiful 3-hitter and a complete game. That's his second complete game of the season. Not the outcome hoped for by the Baltimore fans. Here's the line for the Buffheads. 4 runs on 6 hits, no errors. They leave 7 for the Terrapins. A run on 3 hits. They committed 4 errors, and they leave 4. Trapp gets his second win. His record now 2-0. Quinn takes his first loss. His record now 1-1. So the Buffheads gain a step for the Buffheads. Overall, they now stand at 3-1. The Terrapins now with 3 losses in a row. In the next game, the Terrapins will have another try. That's it for this time. Until next time, this is WAPBA and Ernie Harwell saying so long from Baltimore. Final score? Buffalo Buffheads 4, Baltimore Terrapins 1. Well, hi, everybody. I'm Ernie Harwell. And welcome to Pittsburgh Rebels Baseball. And this is WAPBA, the voice of baseball in your home since 1951. We're coming to you from out here at the park. Today, the visiting Pittsburgh Rebels will test the Tip-Tops at home. Their record now, 1-3. This is the second game in this 4-game series. The Rebels took the first. The Tip-Tops take the field here in the first. Defensively for Brooklyn, Myers at first base, Hoffman at second, Gagnier the shortstop, Westerzill at third. Across the outfield, in left, it's Cooper. In center, Evans. And over in right, Shaw. Land is behind the plate, and today's slap man for Brooklyn, the right-handed chucker, Lafitte. This is Lafitte's second start of the season. His record, 0-1. He's coming off a loss. After one game, his ERA at 21. He will be facing Rebels starter, right-hander Dixon. So settle in. We're ready to start this game. Savage will start it off here in the first. He'll bat from the left this time. You can count on Jimmy. To date, at bat, 7 for 17. He has 2 RBIs. He's walked once. He has stolen 1 base and been caught once. He stands in. Lafitte staring in, ready to work. Lafitte brings it to the plate. Savage powders this ball to left. It drops between Cooper and the line. Is chased down by Cooper. Savage steams at a second. He has himself a double. For Savage, his first double of the season. No one out. First inning, 1 on. Now McDonald to face Lafitte. A trusty bat. So far, 3 for 16. He's walked once. Savage at second can fly. McDonald waiting, bat stirring slightly. Lafitte on the rubber, glances back at the runner. Savage stretches his lead off second. He's on with a leadoff double. Lafitte into his motion, delivers. McDonald slaps one to the right side. Myers moves for it, and he spears it. He flips to Lafitte covering. They just get him. 1 down. And Savage moves to third. 1 gone. First inning, 1 on. Pittsburgh now sends Lennox to bat. Capable of some fine hitting. To date, at bat, 4 hits in 18 trips. 2 homers, 3 RBI. He's walked twice. Lafitte foot on the rubber. Infield deep. Checks third. Here's the pitch. Way off the plate. That'll be ball 4. And a free pass for Lennox. And there are runners at the corners. Runners at first and third. 1 down. Oaks is out to take his hacks. He's their cleanup hitter. A trusty bat. To date, at bat, 4 for 17. 1 homer, 3 ribbies. He's walked once. He almost always puts the ball into play. Lafitte sets up on the rubber again. Checks the runners. First baseman Myers perched right in front of the bag. The runner's going. Lined hard over first. Base hit. Shaw racing over. He'll take it on the bounce. Savage scores. Lennox is well around second. The coach is waving him to third, and he gets over to third as the throw comes into Gagnier. So Oaks with a ribby single, and the Rebels go ahead by a run, 1-0 first inning. And Oaks now has 4 runs batted in on the season. Well, 1 out, runners at the corners for Pittsburgh. The top of the first inning. Bradley will bat next for Pittsburgh. The Rebels can count on him so far. 5 for 14. He has 2 RBIs. He's walked twice. He almost always puts the ball into play. Batter waits. Lafitte poised. First baseman Myers perched right in front of the bag. The runner's going. The delivery ripped to right center. Evans is racing in. Takes it on the bounce. Lennox scores easily. Oaks is well around second. The coach is waving him to third, and he gets over to third as the throw comes into Gagnier. So the single drives in 1, and the Rebels add to their lead. It's now 2-0 ball game for Pittsburgh. Runners at the corners, 1 away. Pittsburgh now sends Berry to bat. Uncertain at the plate on the season. 3 hits in 16 trips. He has 2 RBIs. He has yet to walk. Tough to strike out. Berry relaxes himself at the plate. Land ready to receive. Bradley going with a pitch. The delivery, and it's chopped down the first baseline. Myers up with it, and he steps on first for the out, but the run scores, and Bradley moves to second. And the Rebels now lead 3-0. Well, Holly walks up. 2 away. Bradley on second. You don't want to let down with him so far at the plate. 3 hits in 15 trips. He has yet to walk. He's stolen 1 base. He stands in. Pitcher Lafitte eyeing Holly. Now he's ready. Here comes a pitch. Bounced back to the mound. Lafitte knocks it down, picks it up, flips to first, and that retires the side. That'll do it for Pittsburgh. 3 runs on 3 hits. There were no errors. 1 left on. They have marched ahead. Rebels. 3 Tip-Tops coming up. For the Rebels, their record now 3-1 in the league. They're 5th in batting at 248. First in homers with 3. 3rd in runs. Leading in slugging. 3rd in steals with 3. 4th in on-base percentage. 4th in ERA at 2.83. The Rebels take the field here in the first. Here's how it lines up defensively for the Rebels. Bradley at first base. Lewis at second. Holly the shortstop. Lennox at third. The outfield consists of Savage in left field, Oaks in center field, and McDonald over in right. Berry is behind the plate and on the mound for the Rebels, the right-handed Dixon. This is Dixon's first start of the season. No record yet. After 1 game, his ERA at 0. Myers will get it started for the Tip-Tops, and he hacks from the right. An unlikely hero. To date at bat, only 2 hits and 18 trips. He's walked twice. He's stolen 1 base. Dixon prepared to work. The delivery from Dixon. Breaking ball grounded hard at Lennox. It's off his glove, but he recovers and throws quickly, and he's out. 1 away. Shaw getting ready to go. Shaw at the plate to hit on the year. 4 for 15. He's walked twice. The hitter stands in. Dixon staring in, ready to work. He comes home. Misses the strike zone. Shaw dabbles to first. We have Evans coming up to hit. The Tip-Tops have 1 away. Shaw on at first. A force to be reckoned with so far this season. 4 for 14. He has 2 RBIs. He's walked once. Evans relaxes himself at the plate. Dixon prepared to work. Space on the right. Shaw leading off. Dixon kicks and delivers. Evans doesn't offer, and he draws a free pass. And Shaw moves to second. We have right-handed Hoffman to bat for the Tip-Tops. For Brooklyn, runners at first and second. 1 down. Capable of some fine hitting on the season. 5 for 17. No walk yet. Hoffman waits. Berry sets up. Dixon now. Grounded hard at Lennox. He scoops it up. Fires to second, and they get him. Over to first. Not in time. Safe at first. And Shaw moves to third. 2 on the bottom of the first inning. Here's Cooper. Uncertain at the plate on the season. 5 for 16. 1 homer. 4 ribbies. No walk yet. Right-hander Dixon goes to the set position. The pitch. Grounded to short. Holly's up with it. He flips to Lewis, covering. And they get him to retire the side. For the Tip-Tops, 0-0-0. They leave 2. An opportunity wasted after 1. Rebels up by 3. Lewis, Dixon, and Savage to bat next. Lewis leading off the second. Now and again, he'll get a hit for you. To date, 3 for 12. He has 2 RBIs. He's walked once. Now Lafitte ready. The pitch. It's lifted high to shallow left. Cooper got a late start. Coming hard, coming hard. And he makes the catch. And there's one away. One down. We have Dixon coming up to hit. Walt taking his first at bat of the season. Batter set. Lafitte gets set to work on him. Lafitte to the wind. Dixon lunges at it, and that's strike 3. Lafitte fooled him badly. 2 down. Next up, Pittsburgh hitter Savage. Lafitte will go to work on him. Lafitte over the offering. An infield rollout Savage. Shortstop Gagnier charges. The flip to first. 3 away. So the Rebels go quietly. The score still stands 3-0 Rebels as we head for the bottom of the second inning. The Tip-Tops will have Westerzill, Land, and Gagnier here in the second. To get it going, Westerzill. You don't want to let down with him so far at the plate. 3 for 17. He has 2 RBIs. He has yet to walk. Dixon looking home. To the plate. It's grounded into the hole. Scooped by Holly. Thrown on to first. It's in the dirt. But they get him. Bradley digs it out for out number 1. Land comes up to bat. Capable of some fine hitting so far this season. 3 for 13. Dixon will go to work on him. The pitch. Batted hard on the ground toward right. Diving stop by Lewis. Throws. And he makes the play to first. Land is robbed of a base hit on a great play by Lewis. And that's the second out. Gagnier getting ready to go. Let's see if he can outperform his advanced billing so far this season. 3 for 13. Pitcher Dixon eyeing Gagnier. Now he's ready. He lets one go. On the hands, it's a slow roller toward Lennox. He charges. Scoops it over to first. Just in time for the final out. For the Tip-Tops, 3 up, 3 down. Tip-Tops trailing by 3. They are getting a lesson in how to play this game. And here comes the artillery for Pittsburgh. McDonald, Lennox, and Oaks. McDonald leading it off. Lafitte focuses in on the target. Here comes a pitch. He goes down on strikes. 1 away. Now at bat, Lennox. Batter ready. Lafitte focuses in on the target. The pitch. Hit in the air to center. Evans takes 3 steps to his right, and he covers it. 2 down. Two gone. Now Oaks to face Lafitte. Left side batter. Land sets up. The pitch. It's up to the right side. Myers feels it on the big bounce. He will flip to Lafitte. And Oaks is retired. So the Rebels go quietly. The score still stands 3-0 Rebels as we head for the bottom of the third inning. Lafitte, Myers, and Shaw to bat next. To get it going, Lafitte. On the season, he's 0 for 1. Right-hander Dixon ready. He cranks and fires. on the ground, back through the box. Lewis gloves it, spins it, fires. Long stretch. Just nips the feet by half a step. One down. Myers will bat next for Brooklyn. The Tip-Tops have one gone. Base is empty. Dixon gets set to work on him. The pitch. Check swing. Strike 3. 2 down. Two away. Next to bat for Brooklyn is Shaw. Batter waits. Dixon looking home. Dixon with the pitch. Belted to right near the foul pole. And it's foul. And Shaw will trot back in from second. Strike 1. Shaw back in the box. Dixon gets set to pitch. The offering to Shaw. Swung on, chopping ground ball up the middle. Holly is over. He bowls it and hurries his throw. Bradley has to come off the bag to get it. Shaw reaches. Holly picks up an error. One on. It's now Evans to bat. Dixon gets set to work on him. Dixon with the pitch. Way outside. Evans draws a base on balls, and there's a runner in scoring position. And that's already the third walk issued by Dixon. Runners at first and second. 2 away, the bottom of the third inning. Here's Hoffman. Solly has 1 RBI on the season. The batter stands in. Dixon looking home. The runners take their lead. The delivery from Dixon. Hoffman cuts at it. It's a scribbler hugging the third base line. Lennox lets it roll. But it refuses to go foul. It looked like a line drive in the box score, and the bases are loaded. And that's the first base knock for the Tip-Tops in this game. The Tip-Tops have 2 away. Bases all loaded up. We have Cooper coming up to hit. Claude, not a slugger. Claude has driven home 4 runs for the season. Dixon on the rubber. The pitch comes in. Cooper swings for the fences. There it goes. But it's all in his mind. That ball is lodged firmly in Barry's mitt. That's 3 away. And he leaves the bases loaded. And they get out of it with a big strikeout. That'll do it for Brooklyn. No runs on 1 hit. The Rebels made an error. 3 left. And they could do nothing with the bases full. Rebels still leading by 3. For Pittsburgh here in the 4th. Bradley, Barry, and Holly. Here's Bradley to start it off. The batter stands in. Right-hander Lafitte ready. The pitch is on the way. That's high and deep by Bradley. Evans is on the run. On the run. It's starting to tail away from him. He makes a catch. He stayed with it beautifully. 1 down. Now at bat, Barry. Barry waits. Lafitte is ready to fire it in. The pitch. Breaking ball. Ball 4. And Barry trots down to first. That was Barry's first walk of the season. Next batter, Holly. Holly takes his stance. Right-hander Lafitte ready. He lets one go. Grounded deep into the hole. Gagnier is over. He's got it. The long throw to first. And that's the second out. Barry moves up.
2 outs.
Fourth
Inning, 1 on. Now Lewis to face Lafitte. Bats right. Lafitte
poised.
Quick move to the plate. It's lifted high to shallow left. Gagnier is drifting back, and he's got it
For the third out. That'll do it for Pittsburgh. No runs on no hits. There were no errors. 1 left on after 3.5.
Rebels
Up by 3.
for Brooklyn. It'll be
Westerzill.
Land and Gagnier. Here's
Westerzill to start it off. In the box now. Berry sets up. Dixon fires it in. Swung on and missed. Dixon pulled the string. And Westerzill was way out in front. 1 away. One away. Right-handed batter Land steps up to face Dixon. Dixon focuses in on the target. To the plate. Banged to left center. Base hit. Land rounds first and holds with a single. Gagnier walking up the bat. Right-hander Dixon ready. First baseman Bradley is on the bag. Quick move to the plate. Punch to left. It drops in safely. Savage collects the ball. Land is rounding second. But the third base coach has his arms in the air. He'll stop there. As the throw comes in, the Tip-Tops put 2 singles back-to-back. One down, 4th inning, 2 on. Next up, pitcher Lafitte. He stands in. Dixon set. Infield back at double play depth. Here's the pitch. Swung on. It's a fly ball to the gap in right. McDonald is racing over, but he won't get it. It's to the wall. Land scores. Gagnier surrounding third. The throw comes into Bradley. Lafitte then standing with a double. And they're holding Gagnier at third. So a run scores on the Lafitte double. That was pitcher Lafitte who delivered, helping himself. The Tip-Tops are on the board, nicking at that lead. For Lafitte, his first double of the season, and that's his first hit this season. 2 on, the bottom of the 4th inning. Right-handed batter Myers steps up to face Dixon. We're back at the top of the order. Hitting at 111. An RBI opportunity for Happ. Happ ready. Dixon put on the rubber. Berry sets up. Rebels playing for the out at first. Gagnier down the line some at third. Dixon delivers. It's a high fly to center. It may not be deep enough. Oakes has it all the way, and he snags it for the out. Both runners tag. The coach has a windmill churning. He's trying to score. Here comes a throw home. Here's a play at the plate. And he's safe on a close play. The run scores.
Oh, close call.
The gamble pays off.
Myers picks up a sac fly and an RBI. And Lafitte holds at second.
And the Tip-Tops get one back, trimming the lead to 1. The fans want more. Well, for Brooklyn. 2 away. Lafitte on at second. Shaw's up. Dixon focuses in on the target. Dixon delivers. Well hit drive. Deep to left field. Carrying. Now he's there. And he drops it. Lafitte breaks for third. Digging. He's headed for home. Here's Savage. Throw. It's cut off. Lafitte scores. Tie game. And Shaw has to hold it first. He probably could have gone on, but he hesitated, rounding the bag. Savage picks up the error. 2 errors now for Pittsburgh.
Here come the Tip-Tops. They get back the run and even the score. Now at bat, Evans. Batter ready. Berry sets up. Shaw well off first. The pitch, wrapped back to the mound. Dixon knocks it down, picks it up, throws quickly, out at first. For the Tip-Tops, 3-1. They leave one. They have tied this game. 4 complete here in Brooklyn. Tip-Tops, Rebels, 3-all. For Pittsburgh, here in the 5th, Dixon, Savage, and McDonald. To get it going, Dixon. Right-hander, Lafitte, ready. The pitch. Grounded to third, off his chest. He keeps it in front of him, the throw to first. And he's out for the first out. We have Savage to bat for the Rebels against Lafitte. He'll bat left. Jimmy is their leadoff man. One down. Savage has a hit and 2 at-bats, and he scored once. Savage has patience. Jimmy steps up. Lafitte looking home. The offering to Savage. Softly hit to left. Gagnier is out. Cooper is racing in. He says, I want it. And takes it for the out. 2 down. McDonald up there. They'll have to work around McDonald's power. Tex has done nothing in 2 trips. Tex ready. Lafitte prepares to come home. Now he comes home with it. It's rocked high and deep. Get going, Shaw. But he can only watch. It's gone. So McDonald has his first homer of the season. And the Rebels break the tie and now lead 4-3. 5th inning. And McDonald now has 2 runs batted in on the season. Okay, next up, Lennox. 2 away. Ed walked once. He's 0 for 1. And he scored a run. Lennox waits. Lafitte gets set to work on him. The pitch. Lennox laces it into the gap in right. It's a tweener to the wall. And Lennox pulls into second base standing up. 1 on, the top of the 5th inning. Oakes gets set to face Lafitte. He's their cleanup hitter. Oakes has a hit in 2 trips. He's driven in a run, and he scored a run. Lennox at second can fly. Oakes in the box. Lafitte is ready to fire it in. Lafitte looks back at Lennox on second. Lafitte into his motion, delivers. He swings, but he held up. And it's ball 4. Rebel takes his base on the walk, setting up the force. Two outs, 5th inning, 2 on. It's now Bradley, the bat. He swings from the right side. Not a lot of power. He had a hit earlier. Hugh has driven home 3 runs for the season. The batter stands in. Lafitte looking in. Now the pitch. Grounded hard to Westerzill. He's up with it. Fires to second. And they get him to retire the side. That'll do it for Pittsburgh. A run on 2. Hits. 2 left. They jump into the lead. Rebels up 4-3. The Tip-Tops will have Hoffman, Cooper, and Westerzill here in the 5th. To get it going for the Tip-Tops here, Hoffman, right-handed batter to face Dixon. Hoffman steps up to the plate. Pitcher Dixon eyeing Hoffman. Now he's ready. The pitch. squiver in front of the plate. Berry grabs it, fires to first, and Hoffman is retired for the first out. Next up, Brooklyn hitter Cooper. You don't see Claude taking many pitches. Dixon focuses in on the target. Dixon comes to the plate. Hit like a bullet. Lewis waves at it, but it's by him into right, and Cooper racks up a base hit. The tying run is on. Westerzel to face Dixon. Tex 0 for 2. Cooper stretches his lead. Berry ready to receive. Cooper is off with a pitch. Westerzel pokes it towards second, and it's on into right field. Lewis ran over to cover second and let the ball get through. Speedy Cooper drives into third, and Westerzel is on with a single. Beautifully executed. The tying run is now at third base. One away, fifth inning, 2 on. Right-handed hitter Land gets set to bat against Dixon. He singled earlier. Rarely shows power. Good bat control. Dixon sets up on the rubber again. Dixon now set. Relaxes. Infield back at double play depth. The runners take their lead. Now Dixon comes home with it. Swung on. Bouncer to Lewis. Goes to second for 1. Back to first for 2. Oh, double play. And they get out of the inning. The half for the Tip-Tops. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. They leave 1. They had a chance but could not convert. The score still 4-3. Tip-Tops trail. The Rebels will have Berry, Holly, and Lewis here in the 6th. Here's Berry to lead it off. Claude, not a slugger. Catcher ready. And the pitch. The ball is chopped out over the mound. Gagnier gets to it in front of second, rifles it to first, and just nips Berry. 1 down. Holly is up next. Not known for long-distance hitting. Holly ready. Lafitte gets set to pitch. And now the pitch. Just over the knees, the plate up, thumbs him out, 2 away. Now Lewis to face Lafitte, bats right. Jack is 0 for 2. Lewis waits. Lafitte focuses in on the target. The pitch. Lewis nubs it in front of home. Land pounces on it. Drops it, picks it up again, and makes the throw to first. In time for the final out. No runs, no hits, no errors. Midway through the 6th. We've played 5.5. Tip-Tops still down by 1. For Brooklyn, it'll be Gagnier, Lafitte, and Myers. Gagnier starts it for the Tip-Tops. Dixon staring in, ready to work. The delivery from Dixon. Swung on, routine fly to left field. Savage drifts over. He's under it. No trouble, and he covers it. 1 down. Next up, Brooklyn hitter Lafitte. Lafitte steadies his bat. Berry ready to receive. Now the delivery. Ripped to right center. Base hit. Oaks is chasing it down. He'll have to hurry. Lafitte is trying for 2. The throw. Safe at second. The tying run is now at second base. That's his second double of the game. Now Myers to face Dixon. Bats right. Hap is their leadoff man for Brooklyn. One down, one on, down by one. At the plate today, he's 0 for 2. One ribby. Dixon is on the slab, righty against righty. Checks Lafitte at second. The pitch. He squares, bunted down the first baseline. Bradley barehands it, then throws to third. The throw's offline. Lafitte slides in safely. No error called. Myers gets the job done. That puts the tying run at third. Here's Shaw to hit for the tip tops. 2 on, first and third. One gone. Hitting at 235. He can be fanned. Dixon climbs the mound, checks the runners. Infield is back. The runners take their lead. The pitch. Swung on, bouncer to Lewis. Goes to second for 1. Back to first for 2. Just in time, a double play. And they get out of the inning. That'll do it for Brooklyn. No runs on 1 hit. There were no errors. They leave 1. They had a chance but could not convert after 6. Rebels up by 1. Dixon, Savage, and McDonald to bat next. Dixon will start it off here on the 7th. He bats right. Lafitte looking in. The pitch. There's a deep drive to left. It's going to be a long run for Cooper. But he says he's got it, and he does. 1 down. All right, the next Rebels. Batter is Savage. Batting a meager 400. In the box now. Pitcher Lafitte set to go. Lafitte brings it home. Lafitte misses. Ball 4. Savage will go to first. Rebels hitter McDonald. He's hitting .211. Savage at first has wings. The Rebels are looking to cushion their lead. McDonald ready. Land sets up. Lafitte brings it to the plate. Ooh, it gets him right in the lower back. The umpire's calling time. The trainer's out. McDonald's in pain. It doesn't look good. Tex is trying not to show that hurt him, but stay tuned. They're taking him out of the game. The report from the clubhouse. McDonald injured for 1 day. Lafitte put on the rubber. Lafitte set. Rebels. Skipper McGraw walking down the bench. McDonald is injured. Who are you going to call? McGraw will hustle Jones out to run for him. He'll probably enlist him to play in the outfield. He's very aggressive on the pads. McGraw checks. Schendel to move. All right. Lennox advancing to the bat for Pittsburgh. Savage at second. Jones at first. 1 down. Lennox is a threat for the extra base hit. He already has a double in this game. Ed has 3 RBIs this season. Lafitte on the rubber. Righty against righty. Checks the runners. The runners take their lead. The delivery from Lafitte. Swung on. Easy bounce at Hoffman. Could be 2. He flips the Jagnier at second. Over to first. Yes, the twin killing, and they get out of the inning. The line for the Rebels. No runs, no hits, no errors. They leave 1. They waste the runners. Holding a slight edge. The score is still 4-3 Pittsburgh as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Okay, folks, on your feet. Take a break for the 7th inning stretch.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if
Pittsburgh will now face the heart of the Tip-Tops lineup, Evans, Hoffman, and Cooper coming up. Jones stays in, now playing right for the Rebels. Here's Evans to lead it off. Dixon focuses in on the target. To the plate. That's high and deep by Evans. Oaks is on the run. On the run. It's starting to tail away from him. He makes a catch. He stayed with it beautifully. One away. One away. Next to bat for Brooklyn is Hoffman. Hoffman can get on for you, although he's yet to walk this season. The batter stands in. Berry ready to receive. Now Dixon comes home with it. Fisted to right by Hoffman. Jones will have to hustle. He's there and hauls it in. He made that look easy. Two away. Cooper walks up. The Tip-Tops have two down. Bases clear. Cooper, 1 for 3. Claude was not a slugger. Cooper, now ready. Berry, set. Dixon brings it. Popped up, shallow center field. Oaks is coming on. And he's got it. 3 down. The Rebels retire the side in order. Rebels up 4-3 for the Rebels in one-run games. Their record now 2-0. For Pittsburgh, it'll be Oaks, Bradley, and Berry. Oaks to lead it off for the Rebels. He bats left-handed. Oaks has a hit and a walk in 3 trips. He's driven in a run, and he scored a run. Now Lafitte ready. Now the pitch. This one is straight up the chute between first and home. Myers wants it, and it's in his glove. One away. All right. Bradley up the bat. He's hitting .353. Bradley 1 for 3. 1 ribby. Bradley settles himself in the box. Lafitte ready. Now Lafitte comes home with it. That's skied to right center, medium deep. Evans roams over. He calls. Can of corn, 2 down. Here's Berry, 2 outs. Claude 0 for 2 with a walk. He's driven in a run. Lafitte prepares to come home. The pitch. Slowly rolled toward Gagnier. Gagnier covers it plenty of time. Fires. That's the 3rd out. So the Rebels go in order. The score is still 4-3 Pittsburgh as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Westersill, Land, and Gagnier to bat next. Westersill to lead it off for the Tip-Tops. Tex 1 for 3. Now hitting at 200. Dixon foot on the rubber. The Brooklyn crowd spurring on. Westersill. Pitcher apparently unaffected. And the pitch comes in. Rip and a miss by Westersill. And that's a strikeout. 1 away. Land up to hit. Land is 1 for 3, and he scored a run. Land not looking strong at the plate. Dixon put on the rubber, stares down the hill for Berry. Sign. Dixon will go to work on him. To the plate. It's looped to right. Jones coming on, but he won't get it, and Land is on at first. The tying run is on. Second. Safety for Land. One on. It's now Gagnier the bat. Ed has been up 3 times with 1 hit. And he scored a run. Land, a competent runner. Dixon on the rubber, righty against righty. The Brooklyn crowd pressing on Gagnier. Checks Land on first. Tip-tops, skipper Schendel walking down the bench. He's going to his bench. Anderson has a bat in his hands. He'll go in for Gagnier to face the right-hander. And Schendel will bring in a pinch runner at first base. Land leaves the field. Here comes Watson. He's a threat. Schendel checks. McGraw, the move. Anderson, bat in hand. George can be dangerous. Dixon is on the slab. Jaw tightens as he gets a sign. Checks the runner. Watson, 2 full strides off first. The pitch, Anderson gets the sacrifice down. He'll make Dixon field it. And that's a successful sacrifice. Anderson did a good job of deadening the ball. Dixon was left with only 1 play. Watson moves up. The tying run is now at second base. Lafitte is scheduled to hit. We'll have to wait to see if he bats for himself. On the season, Lafitte has managed 2 hits in 4 at-bats, including 2 in this game, now batting .500. Earlier had his first RBI. Good speed at second. Score him, and that ties it up at 4. Ed at the plate. He has 2 hits and 3 trips here. Dixon sets up on the rubber again. Dixon staring in, ready to work. Tip-tops manages Schendel looking at his score sheet. Schendel is taking pitcher Lafitte out of the game. Who is it? Murphy will bat for him. Bats right. He shoulders a bat. Walks confidently before the crowd. So Lafitte gets his innings. He pitched 8. The game for Lafitte. 4 runs on 5 hits. A homer. He stands to lose it unless the Tip-tops can make up the 1-run deficit. Murphy to face Dixon. He gets his share of hits. This is his 3rd game so far this season. 0 for 2. Watson has the wheels at second. Score him, and that ties it up at 4. Murphy readying himself. Dixon stretches his arms above his head. So what do you do now, sports fans, if you're McGraw from Pittsburgh? Murphy takes his place in the box. Advances out at Watson. Leans in. Dixon put on the rubber. Ever the fans spurring on. Murphy. Dixon gets set to pitch. Watson extending his lead. Pitcher steps off. Dixon is back on the rubber. And a pitch. Breaking ball. Bloop towards second. Lewis is over. Reaches to his right. And hauls it in. That's 3 away. The line for the Tip-tops. No runs, 1 hit. They leave 1. They had a chance but could not convert. Rebels still leading by 1. Holly, Lewis, and Dixon coming up. Watson stays in. He'll be catching for Brooklyn. Wilson is coming on in relief for Brooklyn. He'll bat 8. Wilson comes from the left side. ERA a stingy 0. This is his 2nd appearance. He's worked 4 innings. Moving from second base to shortstop, Hoffman. Another defensive change by Schendel. Coming into play second base for the Tip-tops is Delahanty. Murphy leaves the game. Holly will lead off the 9th. He's a right-handed batter. No power. Ed is 0 for 3. Wilson takes a few warm-up pitches. He's rubbing up the ball. We're ready to go. Now Wilson ready. And the pitch comes in. A towering fly ball to center. Evans roams over. Plenty of room. And hauls it in. 1 away. Lewis is out to take his hacks. One gone. Not known for long-distance hitting. Lewis is 0 for 3. Wilson ready. The pitch. Base hit right field, and Lewis is aboard with a single. One out, ninth inning, one on. Pitcher Dixon to hit. Wilson climbs a mound, checks Lewis on first, trying to hold him close. Lewis well off first. Infield looking for the bunt. A toss over to first, and Lewis steps back to the bag. Now Wilson is back on the rubber. Here's the delivery. Low and away. Lewis breaks for second. Watson digs it out and fires. The sweep tag. Safe. That's his first steal of the season. So Dixon will get back in there. Wilson is on the slab. Checks Lewis at second. Infield playing in a few paces. Lewis moves another step away from second. Wilson turns and fakes a throw to second. Lewis hustles back to the bag standing up. Now Wilson is set again. Here comes the pitch. Swung on. Slow roller beyond the mound. Hoffman charges in. He scoops it up. Fires to Myers for out number 2. And Lewis moves to third. The Rebels have 2 down, runner third. We have Savage, the bat for the Rebels. Jimmy is their leadoff man. Jimmy has collected a hit and a walk in 4 times up, and he scored a run. Wilson is ready to fire it in. Lewis alert at third. The pitch lined into center. Evans charges in, and he grabs it on the run. The ball seemed to hang up for him. That'll do it for Pittsburgh. No runs on 1 hit. They leave 1. They fail to capitalize on the runner. Holding a slight edge, Rebels over their tip-tops. 4-3. The Rebels will face the top of the order here in the 9th. Myers, Shaw, and Evans. To get it going for the tip-tops here, Myers, right-hander. In this game, he's 0 for 2, and he sacrificed once. He's driven in a run. Dixon positions his mitt. Dixon has asked for a new ball. He's rubbing it up. Myers in the box. He digs in deep with his spikes. Loosens his grip slightly. Now ready. Dixon toes the rubber. Righty against righty. The pitch from Dixon. Right by him, strike 3. 1 away. One gone, 9th inning. Shaw gets set to face Dixon, batting left. Al is 0 for 3 with a walk. Batting .222. Shaw steps up to the plate. Waits. Dixon toes the rubber. Evans is in his batting stance on deck. Dixon kicks and deals. Chopper back to the mound. Dixon is up with it. Flips to first. Bad throw. Bradley can't handle it. And Shaw is safe at first on the error. And the Rebels' defense has been sloppy here. They're fortunate to be leading. The tying run is on. For Brooklyn, 1 out. Runner on first. Evans up the bat. Steve has 2 walks. He's also 0 for 2. Evans preparing to bat. Taps the bat on the inside of his right foot. Dixon shakes out his arms. Evans at the plate. Quick look at the ump. Again focused on Dixon. Now ready. Dixon sets up on the rubber again. Checks Shaw on first. Trying to hold him close. Evans squares. Mounted toward Dixon. He bounds off the mound. Feels the ball. Spins and throws to second. Then he gets him. Good heads-up play. 2 down. Two down. Evans on first for Brooklyn. Hoffman now walks out the bat. Hoffman has been up 4 times with a hit. The Tip-Tops need a hit from Hoffman. Evans stretches his lead. Hoffman looks back into the dugout. Dixon bends for the Rosenbag. The Rebels lead the Tip-Tops 4-3. Hoffman takes his place in the box. He digs in deep with his spikes. Waits. Dixon foot on the rubber. Checks Evans on first. First baseman Bradley holding the runner on. To the plate. Swung on. It's pushed to right. Jones is there. Reaches up. And hauls it in. And that's the last out of the game. So it goes. The Tip-Tops tumble. They have been beaten by the Rebels. The Tip-Tops leave the tying run on. The excitement is complete. The Tip-Tops have fallen to the Rebels. 4-3. Here's the line for the Rebels. 4 runs on 6 hits. They committed 3 errors. They leave 6. For the Tip-Tops, 3 runs on 8 hits. No errors. And they leave 10. Dixon gets the win. His first. His record now 1-0. Lafitte takes the loss. His second. His record now 0-2. So the Rebels gain a step in this 4-game series. They now stand at 2-0 for the Rebels. They have been playing very well, now with 4 straight wins for the Rebels. Overall, they now stand at 4-1 for the Tip-Tops. Overall, 1-4. In the next game, they'll go after the Tip-Tops again. And this game is in the books. Ernie Harwell and WAPBA leaving you from Brooklyn. Rebels take this one from the Tip-Tops 4-3.